Hola, mi amigos, and welcome to the Sir Gladiator Show. In this edition of the Sir Gladiator Show, I will be reviewing episode number 3 of season number 4 of the television show Lost Girl. Now, first off, you may be noticing, hey, Sir Gladiator, where are your notes? Because I had notes for the first 2 episodes, but I don't feel like I really needed notes. For episode number 3, there wasn't as much, like anywhere near as much, in the way of different things going on. You know, it really feels like there's more simple. There weren't as many people in the episode, for one thing, of the regular cast. There really wasn't a whole heck of a lot going on. Now, what was going on was different degrees of important. I'm not saying it wasn't important, but there wasn't a whole lot of different things going on. So I am flying solo without the notes. No notes for this episode, and we'll see how that goes. All right. Now, of course, the most important part was that the continuation where the previous episode left off, Bo had jumped off the train. Now, I'd like to just say for myself, I don't know if I was the only one that was completely fooled by this, but I had assumed, she's jumping off the train, the weird train, the death train, right, into the blackness, that she's going to be, on some other alternate dimension or whatever. It turned out that by jumping off the train, she landed back in reality, or normal reality, wherever in the world you want to call it, normalcy, regular planet Earth. You couldn't really tell that. I couldn't tell that at the time. Pretty much, the episode was pretty much over by the time I even got a clue. That hey, she's back in regular reality now. All this that happened was in normal land. I don't really know what to call it, but she was not in the alternate dimension or whatever they called that area where the train was and where the Wanderer lives. Okay, so that's the first thing. So she was back in reality. Who knew? But so she went to a house and stuff happened. And Dyson and the elemental girl who was with him, were following. They were on the train, and then they tracked her down, and she helped some people out. There really wasn't a whole lot. I mean, it was either it was to some degree of interesting, but there just hardly any point in going into the details. She helped some people out of a problem. The one point that is worth noting is that toward the end, Bo and Dyson may or may not have gotten married. Now, that probably sounds crazy, and it is, but that is the reality of the situation. I don't really know exactly how to. I mean, Bo was basically possessed at this point by someone who had a fae who had been murdered, and she wanted to marry her true love, and he had also been murdered before they could get married. They were engaged, I believe, is how that worked, but they had never gotten married, and so the fae who was possessing Bo's body, they did a sort of a marriage ceremony type thing with Dyson. Dyson was I wasn't really clear on exactly how he got to play the role of the groom without actually being possessed by the groom, which he wasn't near as I could tell. So I don't really know. I think he held an item that once belonged to the groom or something like that. I mean, I'm not real clear on that. I mean, even having seen it, but somewhere or another he played the role of the groom, and so for the the intention was so that these two people could be married, even though they were dead, right? So science fiction, right? So but the reality of the situation is that Bo and Dyson, or their bodies and all, and the words that they said, were marriage stuff. So they may or may not actually be married right now. So that may come up at some point in the future. I don't know. Um, the other stuff that happened basically had to do with Lauren and Crystal. Their relationship continued to progress, and they had their love scene. Uh, Everything was good until the end, at which point it wasn't, right? Because uh, I'm not real clear on exactly all the details of exactly what Crystal did and didn't do, but basically, at the end of the episode, it appeared that she was, to some degree or other, in league with the people who were kidnapping Lauren. But Lauren was kidnapped at the end of the episode by someone who you couldn't tell who it was. And you couldn't tell whether Crystal was doing it voluntarily or involuntarily. Uh, that's it was sort of a mystery, but the bottom line was the bottom line, and that is that Lauren's running was over because she had been kidnapped by whoever, because she was running from everybody, right? So you don't have to run anymore once they've got you, right? That's the upside. The upside is you're not running anymore. The downside is they got you. So that which is why you were running. But such as it was. Um, and so the other minor piece of information you get from the episode is that the Morrigan uh, is back to is healed up and back to normal. Everything's good, and she was in league uh, to some degree or other with Massimo. Apparently, that some way or other, and so there's that, and he mentioned that he told her that he and Tamsin had gotten rid of Bo. So she believes, and he believes, that Bo is gone. And of course, she was gone for a while there, right? Um, and so yeah, she was pleased to hear that, and she would obviously not be as pleased to know that Bo was in fact not gone. Actually, at the time that he was telling her that, she had already returned to the regular Earth. I just don't know what to call that. I mean, the alternate dimension, the regular dimension, whatever. She's in the regular dimension. All right. So anyway, she saved the day with the help of Dyson and did Bo, and so they were driving back home, and of course this was sort of the comedic or ironic or however you want to look at it part toward the end, is that uh, Lauren is being kidnapped, and she's in a car right on the side of on the side of the road, um, and they're driving by. Dyson and is driving, and Bo is in the passenger seat, and they're driving by that car, and they're completely oblivious to what is going on in the car. So it's funny. I mean, I don't. I mean, I hope you're supposed to find that funny. I did. I mean, because it's just crazy. I mean, because what are the odds that that right then they're going to be driving by there, and of course they they can't see in the car. They can't. Dyson's a wolf. He has the super senses of smell and whatnot. He can't smell anything. He doesn't. Nobody. So they don't have a clue what's going on in that car. But they're right there, and they could have saved her right then, but they didn't because neither of them had a clue. Even though, I mean, obviously Bo wouldn't have a clue, but Dyson, in theory, might have a clue because he does have those super senses. I guess they weren't super enough, right? So that was I guess a comedic moment, or or maybe it was ironic. Perhaps it sort of depends on how you look at it. I'm really not sure how you're supposed to look at it, but for me, I found it sort of humorous. But of course, it does lead to more. It does make things a little more annoying because it drags out the whole Lauren being kidnapped thing. But um, that didn't last for too awful much longer. At least not, the whole mystery of nobody knows where Lauren is, where is she, whatnot. That didn't last too awful much longer. Just spoiler alert there. Uh, but anyway, of course, the big disappointment of this episode was that there was no Tamsin or Kenzi anywhere. Because at the end of the previous episode, it seemed like they were setting you up for something. Because Kenzi is going off at night to meet with Massimo for more of her, fake Fey power stuff, and she's leaving, and she is irresponsibly leaving Tamsin, alone and unprotected. So it seems like there could be danger for either or both of them. And that just goes to nothing. Nothing comes of that whatsoever. It is absurd. They don't even touch on it. I mean, you could get a minute or two, a little something. I mean, come on, but nothing. They weren't even on the show at all, either of them. It was horrible, and so that was very disappointing. To have to basically have set up such so many interesting possibilities, and they're all completely ignored. What the heck, But so that was very disappointing, and it really detracted for me. It detracted in a big way from my overall enjoyment of the show. It's like I don't really appreciate what is going on because there should be more. There should be this aspect of it that is not happening. There's nowhere to be seen. Where is it? You can't enjoy the other stuff when you're looking for that. And it was not there. And they were not there. They weren't even on doing nothing. Something completely irrelevant. Whatever, nothing. Neither character was on at all. It was terrible. So really for me, the other episodes I've watched multiple times, but this one I just watched the once because it just there was nothing that really made you want to go back and watch it again. I know there's some that you can say, well, what about the love scene between Crystal and Lauren? But hey, if you want to see the love scene with Crystal and Lauren again, you could probably find it on YouTube or something, right? I mean, but I mean, it's not a reason to watch the whole episode. You don't watch the whole episode for a minute or something. And the rest of it, was it was there, it was fine for what it was, but it was missing something. And spoiler alert again, in episode 4, the missing ingredients are back. Tamsin and Kenzi are back in episode 4, so that's not something that you have to worry about missing 2 straight episodes. So that's really, from my recollection, that's all the important stuff. I guess I could point out, to go into one detail, toward the end, before Lauren was kidnapped, she heard, the one of the people at the restaurant where she was working told her that someone was calling looking for Karen, right? And that's of course her real name was Karen, and back when she was running from the law because she was a terrorist, right? That's a that's a pretty major thing to be in trouble for. So naturally, she was she had to make up a new name and all that, and so that's why we know her as Lauren. but the point I wanted to make was, as soon as she heard that, she should have ditched that darn wig, you know, because that's the wig is what identified her most as Karen instead of Lauren. So why did she not ditch the wig when she heard that they were looking for Karen, right? Now, obviously, if she had heard that they're looking for Lauren, then you keep the wig on, because that's the Karen wig, right? But if that's what they're looking for the girl with the red hair. You take that thing off. You use the blonde hair, right? I mean, make it. The point is to make it hard for them to catch you, not easy, right? So that probably should have happened, but it didn't. She wore the wig the whole rest of the week. There wasn't a whole lot left, but there was a little bit of a ways left, and she kept that wig right on, even though it really should not have been. But that's things are not always 100% logical in the show. I think we all know that. But so that was just a little humorous to me, a little humorous moment there, or not moment, but aspect, because it was more than a moment. But the wig should have been ditched. Nobody liked the wig, right? I mean, everybody wanted to see the wig gone anyway, and that would have been a real good time to do it, to get rid of it. But spoiler alert again, in the next episode, the wig's gone, so that's good. Back to the normal hair color. So I guess that's about all that I have to say about this episode. This review is not near as long as the other ones, but again, there really were not a whole, huge number of, little things happening here and there. It was just what it was. Fewer number of things happening, fewer major characters making them happen. But the big takeaway is that Dyson and Bo may or may not be married, and that may or may not be relevant at some point, at any point in the future, unspecified. That's one of the head people of the show actually confirmed that. You could figure that out, obviously, for yourself just by watching it and seeing that, hey, look, they said vowels, even though it wasn't really them. So could that mean something? I mean, you sort of get that question in your head. You didn't really need anybody to tell you that this may or may not mean something in the future. But if you did need somebody to tell you that, then one of the head people of the show, one of the higher up people, did point out that specifically that they, may or may not be married right now. So that's, I guess that's the one really major thing that happened in this episode. And other than that, you had the Lauren kidnapping thing, and they did not reveal who it was, and that was really about it for the important stuff in this episode. I have seen at this point, at the time of this taping, episode 4. So if I hadn't, I could say, boy, I hope that episode 4 is a lot better. But since I have seen it, I can tell you episode 4 is a lot better. So whatever you think of episode 3, episode 4 will be a lot better. So no, you don't have to worry about things, sort of being too, simplified and not enough interesting things happening, not enough of the really fun characters being around. Episode 4 is a lot better. So until stay tuned for my review of episode 4, and I believe that you will enjoy the episode, and you'll probably enjoy the review as well. Both a lot more than episode 3. So until next time, this has been your friend and mine, Sir Gladiator. This has been the Sir Gladiator Show. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and all that good stuff. You know the drill. And have a great day.